finally published the steps that his government will take to tackle the outbreak of the disease. And the strategy broadly has our support. But a decade of Tory austerity means our National Health Service is already struggling to cope. Bed occupancy levels are at 94%, and hundreds of our most vulnerable people are being treated on trolleys in corridors. What additional funding will our overstretched and underfunded NHS be given to deal with this crisis?
Well, Mr. Speaker, as the right honourable gentleman knows, this government has put in record funding into the NHS, and we've pledged that we will give them everything they need to cope with the crisis. I think it might be for the advantage of the right honourable gentleman and the House if I update the House on where we are with the coronavirus outbreak. And as yesterday's plan made clear, we are not at the point yet where we are asking large numbers of people to self-isolate, but that, of course, may come if large numbers of people have the symptoms of coronavirus. And if they stay at home, the House will understand that they are helping to protect all of us by slowing the spread of the virus. And that's what the best scientific evidence tells us. If they stay at home, and if we ask people to self-isolate, they may lose out financially. So I can today announce that the Health Secretary will bring forward, as part of our emergency coronavirus legislation, measures to allow the payment of statutory sick pay from the very first day you were sick, instead of 4 days under the current rules. And I think that's the right way forward. Nobody should be penalised, Mr. Speaker, for doing the right thing.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Prime Minister for that, but I want to ask him a couple of more questions on this subject. Is it true, as has been reported, that police forces are likely to become so overstretched by coronavirus that 999 response times will have to be extended, and that even investigations into some murders will have to be halted as a result of this?
Well, Mr. Speaker, we are not at that stage or anything like that stage yet. Our police forces, he knows, our police forces are well able to cope with all types of eventualities, and they have long-standing arrangements to prepare them for such pressures.
Mr. Speaker, under this government, there are 2 million workers on low pay, many of them women in the care sector, who are not eligible for statutory sick pay at the present time. The Prime Minister's statement just now it's not clear whether it covers them or not. And those on social security could face sanctions if they miss appointments, and therefore they and their families will face terrible hardship. When the Prime Minister brings forward the emergency legislation, will he guarantee that workers' right to sick pay from day one, as he's just indicated will apply on statutory sick pay, will apply to all claimants, and those people that are not currently eligible for statutory sick pay, therefore will have to make a terrible choice between health and hardship?
Well, the right honourable gentleman is raising a very important point, and of course we are very much aware of the issues faced by the self-employed and those on 0 hours contracts. I should stress that some of them will be entitled to statutory sick pay. Others, a great many, others will be entitled to help through the existing systems such as universal credit. And we are urgently looking at the application process to reflect on the advice on self-isolation. But I think the members of the public have appreciated the way hitherto that I think the members have come together across the floor of this House to deal with this crisis. And I think it would be common ground between us all that we want to do everything we can to avoid penalising those who are doing the right thing.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister is not being clear about this. The reality is, if you're on universal credit or just put onto it, you've got a 5-week wait before you get any benefits. Will he be absolutely clear that nobody will have to choose between health and hardship, because it's a matter of public health concern for everybody? Mr. Speaker, our part-time Prime Minister failed to turn up on Monday to answer a question about a breach of the Ministerial Code. In his own foreword to that code, the Prime Minister wrote, "There must be no bullying and no harassment." Will he now commit to an independent investigation into the Home Secretary's conduct, led by an external lawyer, and commit to a date when its findings will be made public?